deep divers. Ever felt like you're just drowning in information? Maybe wishing someone would cut to the chase, hand you the really important stuff.
Or maybe you're hunting for leadership insights that go, a bit deeper than the usual headlines.
Well, you are definitely in the right place. Today, we're diving into some really interesting quiet time notes. And they focus on this ancient text, Psalm 78, but wow, is it relevant?
Absolutely.
Our mission today is to pull out these sort of profound truths about what real leadership looks like.
Yeah, how much character actually matters.
Exactly. And what it all means for you right now. So, get ready. We're going to unpack how impact happens, often in ways you really wouldn't expect.
It's quite a journey, takes us way back, but it lands, like you said, squarely in the present. It's a powerful lens, really.
Okay, so let's dive in. These notes, they start by painting a pretty stark picture, drawing from Psalm 78, verses 56 to 64. It describes Israel just continually rebelling against God. I mean, despite everything he'd done, the text says they, quote, tested and rebelled against the Most High God.
Strong words.
Yeah, and did not keep his testimonies. It gets worse. They provoked him to anger with their high places and, moved him to jealousy with their idols.
So really turning away quite deliberately.
Totally. And the result, God's wrath. The notes point out he abandoned his dwelling at Shiloh.
And Shiloh was, it was the central hub for worship then. A huge deal.
Exactly, a massive statement. Then it says, he delivered his power to captivity, his glory to the hand of the foe. He even gave his people over to the sword.
It's pretty grim, right?
It is grim. And understanding that depth of betrayal and just how severe the consequences were, it's crucial. It was a total rejection, really, of their current leadership, their whole direction. The text, it says, God utterly rejected Israel. And it gets specific, too. It mentions he rejected the tent of Joseph and did not choose the tribe of Ephraim.
So not just a general unhappiness. No, not at all. This was pointed. It shows that even established or historically favored groups can completely lose their way through unfaithfulness.
Right.
And this creates, essentially, a complete leadership vacuum, which, sets the stage perfectly for what God does next.
And it's such a turning point, isn't it? I mean, imagine that feeling. A nation rejected, lost. You think, okay, that's it. Story over.
Yeah, seems like a dead end.
But this is where Psalm 78 just pulls this incredible pivot. Verse 65 onwards, it's like God awakes as from sleep, ready for something totally new.
A fresh start.
Totally. He chose the tribe of Judah, Mount Zion, which he loves. Okay, new direction. But then, and this is what the notes really zoom in on, he chose David, his servant, and took him from the sheepfolds.
From the sheepfolds.
Yeah, from following the nursing ewes, he brought him to shepherd Jacob, his people, Israel, his inheritance. I mean, it's just remarkable. This future powerful leader plucked straight from tending sheep.
And the implications of that choice, they're huge for understanding what God actually values in a leader.
Right.
Like the notes stress, David wasn't royalty. He wasn't some influencer with a big following when God called him.
Yeah, wasn't a king, didn't have a platform, just a shepherd.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this isn't just like a nice story. It fundamentally reveals God's criteria. It tells us his selection isn't based on, worldly status or how visible someone is.
Well, something else entirely.
It's something deeper, yeah.
Yeah.
Looks beyond the obvious resume, so to speak.
Okay, so let's get to the absolute heart of this for us today. These notes, they really hammer this key verse, Psalm 78.72. With upright heart, he shepherded them and guided them with his skillful hand.
The core of it right there.
It is. And the notes distill it beautifully. God values faithfulness over fame and character over credentials. Just let that sink in for a second. In our world, it's all about visibility, right? Getting the right qualifications, building the brand. And this ancient wisdom flips it. It says what really matters is almost invisible.
Yeah, countercultural.
Totally. It unpacks David's qualities. He had a heart that sought after God. He was teachable and true. And get this, even though he didn't lead perfectly, and who does?
Right, nobody.
He led with integrity and skill. So it's less about flawless performance, more about that foundational character, that inner compass.
Absolutely. And if you connect that upright heart and skillful hand, it's really talking about the two essential sides of effective leadership.
Okay, break that down.
Well, the upright heart, that's your integrity, your character, your moral core.
Yeah.
It's about who you are inside. Your genuine motives, are you aligned with what's right?
Got it. The inner stuff.
Yeah. And then the skillful hand, that's the practical side, competence. Can you actually do the job? Can you guide people effectively? Can you execute?
So it's not just about being a good person. You need the ability, too.
Exactly. The power is in the combination.
Yeah.
And David's whole story, it shows that what God is really looking for is that faithful heart and a willing spirit. Not the usual stuff like worldly success or, how many followers you have.
Right. It's about being true and being capable, but in this deeper sense.
Precisely.
So let's bring this right home. For you, listening right now, the source material asks some pretty direct questions, like, are you being faithful in the, quote, small things God has put in front of you right now?
Important question.
And are you growing in skill? Not, to impress people or build your resume, but just to serve well, whatever your role is.
Yeah.
Maybe the big one. Have you ever felt like just a shepherd, overlooked, maybe feeling underqualified for something, or just that what you're doing day to day feels, insignificant?
And that really raises a key point for all of us, doesn't it? Whether you're managing a big team at work or maybe just mentoring a friend or even just trying to live with purpose day to day.
Yeah, whatever it looks like.
The message is clear. God sees your heart, your intentions, your character, how faithful you are when maybe nobody else is watching. That stuff matters immensely.
So the quiet stuff counts.
It really does. And maybe the season you're in right now, even if it feels quiet or boring or just like you're treading water, maybe God is using that exact season to shape your heart and hands.
Like preparation.
Exactly, like a hidden training ground. So it encourages us to think, okay, what would it look like to lead or serve today, right where I am, but do it with integrity and intentionality, knowing that even these small steps, they're part of something bigger. It really reinforces that idea. God's preparing you for something greater, even if you can't see it yet.
Wow. Okay, so bringing this all together then, this deep dive into Psalm 78, into these notes. What's the big takeaway about leadership, ancient and modern?
Well, it seems pretty clear it's not about having the biggest stage, right? Or the fanciest resume.
Definitely not. It's about that faithful heart and that skillful hand, things that are cultivated, quietly, in the small tasks maybe.
Yeah, integrity, being teachable, being willing to serve, even when you feel completely overlooked.
So as you go about your day, maybe consider this. How might those seemingly small things you're being faithful in right now, and the skills you're maybe quietly working on, how might they be shaping you for something much bigger than you can even imagine right now?
That's a powerful thought.
And how can you lead or serve or just be with that upright heart and that skillful hand today, knowing that even if nobody else sees it, that shaping work, it's always underway.